and he picked it up and just started messing around, and out of nowhere he just went do 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 do, and I was like, that's a hook. Record that right now.
Hello world, Wednesday 13 here.
Hey, this is Tom Stain.
Hello everybody, I'm Ronnie LeDrew.
Yes, my friends, my name's Jon Mahon.
What's going on, everybody? It's Tom.
And it's Jamie. Welcome to the Chronicles of Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, nays and nems, this week we bring you a very special guest joining us for the third time. This week's guest is a radio host, a DJ, a presenter, and a damn handsome son of a bitch. Here to talk all about his upcoming tour with Bowling for Soup and his upcoming and first ever single, You Got This, available Feb 4th, and so much more. Put your hands together, shout, yes, my friends, as we bring you the Chronicles of Jon Mahon 2.
Oh, fucking intro. Oh my god. I need, like, you probably get this all the time. Like, I need that for when I come out on stage for a DJ set, because holy shit, that is the trumpet blowing that I've never had.
the amount of bands that have said, can you introduce us on stage?
Yeah.
I need a side business going. I really do.
Dude, is it Bruce Buffer who does it for the boxing? Yes. It's like that guy needs to move aside, man. There's a new goat in town.
I'll get myself on Fiverr for hosting events. Like, let's go!
I think they're 4 or 5. I was going to say, definitely up that.
Oh, boys, thank you for having me back, man. I really, really appreciate it. Every time I see your face, it makes my day.
Oh, mate, right back at you. It's so lovely to see you as well. It's always good to hang up and catch up and hang out, should I say. That was the wrong way around. It's because my questions are running around in my head and I'm just like falling over my words. John, before we get started, how the fuck are you, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Yeah, it's just like in typical me fashion, right? I went, cool. I want to do some press for this track, and like a big thing for me was I was like, you know, as cool as it would be to get, you know, like Kerrangs and Roxanne's writing about it, that's cool. But like, I really wanted to do a whole run where I talk to the ones who are doing it independently, because that's what I am. I'm an independent journalist. As much as I do the show on Kerrang, like the Jon Mahon show is an independent show, like run off my own back. And I wanted to do a whole run of interviews with people who are doing that as well. Yeah. And stupidly, I was like, yeah, I'll do them on the same day that I'm releasing the track. And I actually booked one of the interviews in at 6 p.m. when I'd booked in the announcement for the track. So, now I understand why artists have PRs. Like, it makes so much sense. Because idiots like me are going, yeah, let's do 3 things at the same time that all require me to be on my phone.
The fact you messaged me saying, like, can we push it back to 7:30? I was like, well, push it back to the time we already agreed.
Yeah, because on my schedule, I had it down for 7. Again, another reason why bands have PRs. Because it's like, hey, idiot, click on this link at this time. It's like, yeah, okay, thanks, boss.
But dude, you've been like, before we get into the single, you've been fucking busy doing so much shit over the last couple of years. You've been to Vegas for When We Were Young Festival, and you went for the Massive Dance Festival as well. You got to go to fucking AEW All In, might I add, and interview the greatest wrestler and my hero in Bryan Danielson, which is, I watched clips of earlier and was like, fucking bastard. You're about to go on tour with Bowling for Soup, of all bands. Like, what the fuck? Like, dude, you've been to Bloodstock, you went to Bloodfest, you've just been running and you've been fucking everywhere doing so much shit, and I'm really proud of you, man. Thank you, just with everything that's going on, like, it's just so deserved.
That means the world, man. That really, really, really does mean the world, man. And I'm grateful for it, dude. Like, I watch the Pat McAfee show all the time, and he's got a phrase which is dumbest life of all time. Life of all time. And it's like, that's how I feel on so many occasions, where it's like, yeah, like someone like me wasn't meant to be doing this shit, and somehow I've fallen into doing it, and it's stupid, it's dumb. I don't know how I keep ending up doing all this cool stuff, but there isn't a day that I'm not grateful for it, man. It genuinely is something that I'll never take for granted. And you know, like we've been there in guest areas at festivals talking about the trials and tribulations of it, and saying, you know, how much it's getting us and bringing us down. But then, like, you know, as much as it can get to you and it can grind on you, and you need to also be acknowledging of that side. Like the upsides are pretty big. So you got to remind yourself just how many people would love to be in those positions. And yeah, it's something that I'm definitely never going to take for granted.
The thing is, though, like, if we go back to when we first met in person, 2023, I've never seen anyone work so fucking hard. The reason always happened is because you busted your ass and you deserve it, quite frankly.
Thank you, man. That's
like,
very
we were
kind of you to
worried
say.
about you that weekend. Like, and that was just one weekend.
Yeah, that if my mind serves me correctly, that 23 year was the year where I was doing interviews for the Jon Mahon show with Ollie from Forever Loud, and then I had a face down DJ set booked on the Friday, and my stupid plan, was to leave Cheltenham, get on a train, go to London, do the DJ set, in which I was also doing an after party set, which finished at 6 a.m. Then get back on a train to get back to Cheltenham.
Yeah.
My plan was to sleep on the train. I don't think I slept on that train. And then I did a full day of press, and then I did a silent disco DJ set that evening. And like I was awake for like touching like 50 hours.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I think he posted a photo of you coming out of your tent at about 1 afternoon, and there was just nobody there.
Yep.
That was
Phenomenal.
But that weekend also did give me one of my favourite memories of my entire life, with us three and Ollie doing that interview in the fucking torrential rain. Oh,
dude, like whenever I'm having like a really shit day, I will go back to that clip and just like the pitch of all four of our laughter like is something that is just such a moment in time that like every time I see it, it just puts such a smile on my face. So yeah, like honestly, like one of my favorite bits of content that I've ever been a part of creating.
It's so funny. Like if I'm ever feeling low, I just have to think back to you shouting, "There's water going in my ass crack," and it make my day feels better.
And then Tom doing the gentleman's check for me, like reaching back, he's like, can confirm. It looks like he's pissed himself from the back.
Oh God, that was fantastic.
So much fucking fun. But obviously, I wanted to double check as well, because I bumped into you after that when you did Misery Business at the Devil's Dog.
Yeah.
One hell of a fucking... What happened to that? Obviously, I know Devil's Dog's gone. Is there plans to do anything like that again?
Okay, so like I gave running a club night a go with one of my really good friends, Curtis, and it was called Not Safe for Work. We really enjoyed it, but it is hard. Like it is hard running an alt club night. And we were doing it like what? Pre-pandemic. We're talking like 2017, 2018, and it was hard then. It is even harder now. Like we had 1,500 nightclubs in the country pre-pandemic. Now we're down to 400. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What the wow.
Yeah, like we are average. Like the average is something like we're losing like 3 a week. Like that's how bad it is. And then like that's just nightclubs. Like that doesn't include like straight up music venues. And like the Devil's Dog, was trying to do a bit of both. It was trying to do a bit of club night, bit of music venue. And the geezer who ran it had never run a venue before in his life, and that was a big problem. So he didn't have any experience in all that kind of side of things, and their business model to begin with like wasn't the greatest. They wanted to be like pure like a hardcore kind of venue, and well, out of all the scenes that you could have chosen in the alternative music scene, why would you choose the straight edgiest of them to try and get down to a bar?
Yeah,
the flaws were there to begin with, and yeah, like. I came on board and my plan basically was, right, let's create 3 club brands. Pop punky one, which was Misery Business. We were going to do, well, actually, we did do the metal one. It's called Hellraiser, and that was the one where we got While She Sleeps down for a guest DJ set. And then the third one was I wanted to create a power ballad themed club night for Birmingham, and it was going to be called Bat Out of Brum, and we never got to fucking launch it. Like the play on words alone of having Bat Out of Brum with the Aussie tie-in as well. Whoa! It was, and we never even got that one off the fucking ground because the venue closed before we had time to.
Fuck, I would have been there every week. I would have left the kid on her own.
Yeah.
I would have been there, mate. Fucking power ballad night. That's got me written all over it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, it was a shame about the Devil's Dog. It had a lot of potential, but unfortunately, it's one of those situations where like you can take the horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. And I was just like, same stuff. Like, just give me a calendar, give me access to your calendar, let me book some stuff in. And the dude didn't want to, like, wanted to keep it very much like his business in-house, which is cool. But also the venue's been stripped of everything and closed down. So
Shame, really. It really is.
Yeah,
'Cause,
man.
yeah, that was such a good night. But dancing to Bring Me the Horizon with my daughter's teacher, because she was there, was weird, but I loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
And that's what I want my nights to be.
Yeah.
Weird.
She walked past and she was like, I was like, this is fucking weird. Like, you teach my daughter in year 2. This is fucking weird.
Well,
Yeah, if, you,
Go on, John.
if you don't leave one of my nights going like, what the fuck happened last night, then I've not done my job.
Exactly. I forgot to mention the biggest download DJ set ever with you doing with playing Cody Rhodes Kingdom to his theme song, and that iconic moment of you shirtless, of course, it's you. With your face to the camera and obviously the crowd behind you doing the whoa that must have I actually can't describe that moment it must have been unbelievable.
Yeah, man. Like, so in my head, I didn't envisage it ever going that well because, like, I know there's a big wrestling rock music crossover, but cast your mind back to that weekend. It was Clash in the Castle in Scotland.
It was.
So it's like, if you were a rock music wrestling fan, you basically had to make a real tough business decision. Do I go to download or do I go to Clash at the Castle? And because of that, I was like, are there going to be as many wrestling fans here this year? Because you've got a painful choice to make. And it came to a moment in the set, and I was like, I will know if this tune is going to go down well based off how loud I hear adrenaline.
Yes.
And like, I was like, if that adrenaline rips, it's money. Like, we're good. And yeah, as soon as the song kicked in and just that adrenaline hit, and like it almost deafened me, I was like, oh, we've got it on the woes. And yeah, man, like, and the comments of that video floor me because it's like, I think one of the most liked ones, it's got like 400 likes. It's just like, all right, Bret Hart, chill out.
Well, you weren't there, mate. Jealous little fuck. Yeah. But still, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was a moment. That was, and I'm not like I like getting the opportunity to like play wrestling theme music in that DJ set like was pretty stupid. And yeah, there was 3 Cody references in the set. There was I opened the set with like my intro to the set was Cody doing the undesirable to undeniable promo. Nice. So that was the first Easter egg. And then my first track was Alkaline by Sleep Token. And I've got this stupid gimmick where, like, the first lyric in that is, oh, let's talk about chemistry.
Yeah.
In inspiration from Cody, I go, so what do you want to talk about? Man, there's a lot of American Nightmare shout-outs in that set.
Obviously, you said somewhere on social media that was the best DJ set of your life, and the footage, because you uploaded it to your YouTube, like, it's fucking incredible.
Yeah, really stand by it. Like, I was saying to someone earlier that set for me, like, I DJ download in previous years, and like I'd done it with a club night. Well, actually, every time I've been there before, I've been doing it with a club night, and the time before that, it was like half an hour. Like tagged on to the end of like this club night set, and it was fun. Day one, I was very, very grateful to be up there. But this is my first time like being billed as me as a DJ and like a proper me set. Actually, no, I tell a lie. I had one of me. Was it the year before? Was it the year before? Year before that? When it was in the car park, like that year. Like I was billed as me that year. But I was a very like late addition to it, and it was kind of like manic putting it all together. Whereas like last year, everything like fell into place. Like I got to like announce it properly, promote it properly, and like loads of people who have never seen me DJ before turned up, and like I was really grateful for that. And then the whole set was basically like a load of mashups that I've been making either in the lead up or some of them, like one of the mashups that I made like 8 years ago. It was like one of the first mashups like I made like in a workspace. It was Teenagers by Mike M over the top of Levels by Avicii. And like playing the first ever mix that I learned as a DJ, which is This Ain't a Scene by Fall Out Boy, into Bangarang, into Everywhere I Go by Hollywood and Dead. Like when I first started beat matching and like learning how to mix, that was the first mix that I like ever learned. Like the first one like was Bangarang into Everywhere I Go, and that was the first transition that I ever made. And like the humbling thing about that was like when I started playing that one in clubs, the amount of alt DJs were like, I've never heard someone mix these 2 tunes together, but like you look at it and it's like they're the same key and the same BPM. So it's like, I don't know how like no one had found that pairing before, but yeah, that almost became like a calling card of mine for like a good few years. So yeah, just like getting to like sort of go on a journey of like, you know, routines that I've been doing for like the last 10 years and doing them on the biggest like I had to go all WrestleMania on it, the biggest stage of them all. But as an old DJ, it is the biggest stage of them all. So yeah, very, very grateful for last year's set.
It was absolutely phenomenal to like look at the footage. Like you started off in a vest and all this sort of stuff, and by the end, shirtless, sweaty mess. I was like, that boy enjoyed himself.
Oh, I did. Story about that fit. So like I got this like I love my fishnet, right? And it was like this fishnet kind of piece from Killstar, and I got this belt that I bought at Hot Topic in Vegas the first time I went for when we were young. And like so like normal studded belt is like those kinds of studs, like the flat studs.
Yeah.
Like this one had like the raised almost like bullet looking kind of studs. And I'd never worn that with a fishnet top. So I started the set and I was like, every time I put the microphone to my mouth, I'd forget that this belt is like quite like protruding and the top would keep getting caught on my arm. So every time I put it up, like a stud would get caught in it and I have to like pop it out. And by the end, like 10 minutes into the set, like this fishnet top is already like falling apart on my arms. And I was like, I think I'm gonna have to like fuck Hulk Hogan, but I think I'm gonna have to Hulk out of this. And like, I was like, well, what tune am I going to do it to? And I was like, Ace of Spades is coming up pretty fucking soon. So like, as soon as Ace of Spades kicks in, like I just redlined absolutely everything for Lemmy and then just started taking chunks of fishnet off.
Oh. Well, before we move on, we've mentioned wrestling a few times. Did I see you DJ'd like a wrestling club night?
You did, yeah.
Wrestle Rave.
And if you're watching, can you fucking get back to me, please? Because Jesus Christ, man. Like we did this night at the Electric Ballroom in Camden. It was sick. Like it was so much fun. Like they put an actual wrestling ring in the center of the Electric Ballroom for people to go and have photos with during the night. One rule was people weren't allowed to take bumps, and there had to be a security guard next to the ring all night telling people off if they tried to take bumps on it. Like. One guy full on like just got in, just did a flat back bump, and then just got out again. And was like, "That's my night, mate." But I was like, "Yeah." Like again, real last minute. Like I saw the event was getting promoted on Instagram, and I was like, "Hey, this is my wheelhouse. Like, get in touch. Like, let's try and do something." At first, they're like, "Oh, we've already got our DJ lineup sorted," and then I think they saw the Cody video at Download, and they were like, "Oh, are you free on that date?" And I was like, "I am." Hence why I asked, and. Bro, I spent hours putting together that set because what I did was I downloaded like all the wrestlers' intros and then I got the visuals of their Titantrons and like there's also loads of fan-made Titantrons, the ones that didn't exist on YouTube. Then had to pair those in Premiere Pro with the song in time with the entrance visuals and like did a video-based DJ set for like the first time in a good few years. And it crushed. It absolutely crushed. And then they're like, sick, we're going to do more of these next year. And I'm like, sick. And I've sent the organizer of this event touching like 10 messages now being like, hey man, what are your plans for this year? And then the last time I reached out to him was because they tagged me in a post on Instagram being like, we got dates coming next year. Announcements are coming soon. And I'm like, someone fucking talk to me. I don't know if I'm free for them because you won't tell me when they're going on.
Oh, I'm definitely going that. Yeah, always has been.
But I mean, like, it's a concept now that you're seeing a lot of copycat nights pop up from like through me doing it. Like, there's been a good few, like obviously, like people see like that kind of concept kicking around. And there's been a couple of brands that are like, oh yeah, we're doing a wrestling theme club like that. And I keep saying to them, it's like, look, man, it's like. You got competition real fucking quick on this idea. Like if you're not going to act fast, you're going to get overtaken.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. But they won't have Joe.
So if any of the other wrestling themed club nights are listening and you need a DJ, feel free to ask because I'm a cheap whore. I've got no commitments to anyone.
Comes with his own Big Show cosplay and everything.
I do. Yeah. Oh my god. Like that vest. Legitimately bought that vest off ASOS because I was like, I saw a meme which was like a girl being like, oh babe, what do you think of my new swimsuit? And the guy was like, don't say Andre the Giant, don't say Andre the Giant. And I was like, I need to wear this just so I can post that meme side by side with it. And then I put it on and I was like, I actually feel like the Big Show in this.
So John, the reason we're all here is you're releasing your brand new debut single. You got this on February 4th. Where did this whole idea? Is this like the next chapter in the level of Jon Mahon?
That's the plan, bro. It started around about 7 years ago, 2018. I was watching bands, obviously at festival season, that kind of stuff, and like, I just jealousy's kind of the only word. It wasn't as extreme as jealousy, but I felt jealous watching bands on stage performing songs to an audience, and I was like, especially at a festival where it's like 5 stages worth of bands, and people specifically choose to go over at a certain time and spend that chunk of their day watching that artist play those songs because that's how much those songs mean to them. I was like, what the fuck does that feel like? And how do I feel that feeling? As someone who's obsessed with music, I'm a music nerd through and through. I love music. It's my life. And I want to know what that feeling feels like. And I had this horrible phrase I said for years because, when I first started DJing in my 20s, people were like, oh, you look like you're in a band, are you? And I'd be like, no, I'm not good enough to make music, but I am good enough to talk about the people who do. Horrible phrase. I don't know why I said it for so long, but it got in my head that I was never the music making guy. I was the music promoting guy, the talking guy. Yeah. And I was just like, do you know what, man, let's just give it a shot. Because if I get to 40, 50 years old and I've not done it, I'm going to be full of regrets. And I don't want that feeling.
No, so how long have you been working on this then?
So, 2018, I downloaded a workspace called Ableton. Like all the other ones beginning with A popped up. Audition, like Adobe. It's like no, Ableton. So I got Ableton, and like I've been making mashups anyway, and I was quite used to like deconstructing a song and putting it together in a new way, like a jigsaw. And I was like, cool, let's make a song from scratch. And I was literally just using the stock Ableton plugins and just seeing what happened. And I made a song. I was like, cool, I don't hate it. It's not awful. And I was like, but how do I progress it and take it to the next level? And one of my best friends, who's a boy from Birmingham, who I went to secondary school with, called Tom Anderson, he's been in bands. Probably the most notable one for him was a band called Venus de Milo. They were from Liverpool, like great indie band. Yeah. And he's got a studio over in Liverpool, and he was like, yeah, man, I'll give you a hand. Come down, let's see what happens. So me and him jumped into a studio and fully produced that song. Only kicker about that song is, and I'll say it on this podcast, because out of all the ones that I've done today, I feel like this is a conversation I can have with you boys. It's an intense song, that one. It's a song like about a time in my life where I came very, very close to taking my own life. I think it was, it's basically, it's an on the nose story about that, to the point, no mince in my words, very direct and very brutal with the lyrical content. And I played it to people were like, fuck, they're like, we enjoyed the song. But then the one person that I played it to, who's, again, one of my best friends, Laura, who's managed me for years, who I owe so much to, she's like, look, it's a good song, but people associate you with being like the happy, upbeat, fun, positive guy. She's like, if you were to release music for the first time and the first thing that you're dropping is a song about that, people are going to be like, fuck, is everything wrong with John? Because it's about something that happened years ago. And it's like, I see where you're going. So she's like, bank it, like, definitely put it out. But she's like, maybe just not the first one. So she's like, just, if you got something that's upbeat, positive, happy, like more who you are, that people are, generally associate with you being you. And I was like, no, that's a very fair and valid point. Like, so you don't want to scare people off straight away, being like, here's the intense stuff. Let's jump straight to the trauma. So, basically, me and Tom had, up until that point, we'd done 2 or 3 songs. 2 songs. Yeah, 2 songs. And 3 songs. I tell you, like 3 songs. Neither of those songs really fit the mold for that. And they also were quite like genre bending in terms of like their styles and stuff. Yeah. And I wanted the first impression to kind of tie in with what people would expect from me, which is something rocky first and foremost, because I am the rock music guy. So basically Tom came over to mine, and in this studio, it was like just before Christmas one year, and we got a couple of cold ones in. He brought his laptop over, sat down. First thing that Tom did when he walked into this room was went, oh, the acoustics are really good in here. So like we recorded him clapping a few times, and that clap is actually on the song. So like all the clapping that you hear on that was like literally the first thing that we recorded in the tune. And Tom's amazing, man. He's so fucking talented. And literally, like, there's an electric guitar in that corner that I can't play anywhere near as well as he can. And he picked it up and just started messing around. And out of nowhere, he just went do 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 do. And I was like, "That's a hook." Record that right now. And yeah, we literally like built the entire song around that. And yeah, this very sort of like silly, stupid, like oozing in sickly positivity song came out.
I mean, you're absolutely right with the hook. Like every time I've heard it, for the next 10 minutes, I'm walking around going na na na, na na na. It's such a fucking earworm.
Good.
But no, I said this to you in private. Like I listened to it and I instantly went, "That's a Jon Mahon song," because it's just
I
got
appreciate that, bro.
dance, rock, catchy verses, sing along. It's you in a song. Like I don't know how else to word it.
I appreciate that, man, because that was the aim with it. I was like, I don't like, because some of the stuff is like, you know, very genre bending. Like no 5 of the songs that we've worked on sound the same. They all sound very, very different. And I was like, I don't want to scare people off right away. So I kind of just want to like set the bar and go, cool, you are going to get some rock in this if you like me for my rock stuff. But there's also going to be a bit of dance production in there as well.
Yeah, I got very, like, I felt a bit 80s in bits. I felt a bit industrial metal in bits. And then I felt clubland in bits. I was going, you're just creating the Mahon genre.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Patent pending.
Oh, it's yours, mate. You didn't have it. Copyright Jon Mahon. So yeah. Like that, I was literally like, it was weird. My brain was going, oh, because you can hear guitar. Then obviously, then I was like, oh, I feel a bit like, I dance a little bit now. And then it was just, I was like, it was wonderful. That's all I can say.
I really appreciate that, bro. Like the kind words that you're extending in my direction mean the fucking world. Because I mean, yeah, like, yeah, anyone who's released music like knows what these feelings are. But before we go into a release, where it is like, you know, you do have those anxieties of like. And like thing is, because I've worked in music for so long, I like, you know, worked in music journalism. I like seeing people criticize music. I know how to criticize music in a way that hopefully doesn't offend the artist. Whereas, you know, that's not as popular amongst other publications and people, especially people on the internet. They will just say whatever comes to their mind and go, cool, send. There's not a person on the other end of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's stuff that I'm well prepared for. Like my whole thing with this project is, even if you hate it and despise it, tell me, please tell me. I want to know. Like, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't come to you for advice. I'm not going to change anything that I'm going to do just to fit what you think. But I want to hear what you think. Like, please tell me, just so I know who to avoid.
But obviously, it's got quite an intense like meaning behind it. Stuff. How do you feel like putting your vulnerability out there, almost like for the world to hear?
Yeah. So like this one has like a smidge of vulnerability, like in terms of, you know, extending yourself as an artist, because like any artist who puts something out is basically laying himself bare, going, all right, cool, what do you think? Criticize it.
Yeah.
And yeah, with this one, because like the hook in the song is "Don't let the motherfuckers get you down."
Yeah.
Like, I'd be a bit of a hypocrite if someone said something mean about this song. I was like, wah.
We turn into Wario.
Yeah.
Wah.
Oh, that's if trolls start coming out, I'm just gonna put a yellow hat on and just go wah. That's how I'm gonna deal with trolls. Waluigi myself out of this situation. But yeah, like when the real vulnerable stuff is coming, and I think more than anything, I'm more nervous about like my family hearing those songs, because it's about stuff they don't know about yet. So that's where the nerves come in on that front.
Okay. Yeah. I also love that you got it tattooed, because in a way that's also like a big reminder to yourself as well that you've got this. You know?
100%, and it's in my mom's handwriting as well.
I was just about to say, yeah, that is incredible.
Yeah, and I did have to lie to my mom a little bit.
Oh,
in order to get her to do it. So basically, I don't think I've even shown anyone this yet today. It's like, no, I haven't. You boys are getting exclusives out of it right now. So I asked her, I was like, can you do me a favor? Can you write "You got this" on a sheet of paper? But I folded an A4 sheet of paper like widthways like that, So I was like, so it's big enough so that the tattoo artist, even if like, because I wanted it big, I wanted it to be visible, like, because you know when I'm out at festivals and stuff and I get photos of people, I always like point them like that.
Yeah.
So like in the photo, I wanted it to be like readable on my arm, so that when I get photos like that in the future, like it's me basically saying to someone, "Hey, you got this," and they got that, and then it's also signed from my mom as well, which is also cute. But in order to get her to do it, I kind of had to say, "Can you just write on a sheet of paper?" And these, the versions that she wrote on a sheet of paper for me. So, and she actually did it like multiple times, like without even like being asked to. So there's like 4 or 5 like different versions. So yeah, like the where's the heart? Yeah, so it's one of those hearts, like one of the kisses from those. I think that's the this that I used. I put it into Canva and like rearranged it all, but yeah, like she didn't know what it was for, why I asked her to do it, and then she was like, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I'm releasing a song, and I just wanted to use your handwriting as a single artwork for it." And she's like, "Oh, that's awesome." Didn't tell her that I was getting it tattooed, and then a couple of nights ago, I was like sat downstairs with like her and my little sister. I was like, "Do you want to hear the song?" And then they were like, "Yeah, absolutely." So play them the song. I was like, "So do you remember how I said I wanted to use your handwriting for the artwork?" And I was like wearing like an Shikari hoodie, and I just pulled the sleeve up, and she's like, and when she's like surprised or angry, or like she wasn't angry about it, but she was like taken aback. She calls me Jonathan, so she went, "Jonathan," like.
Well, can we also say your mum's got lovely handwriting?
Really does.
So this is the thing. My sister took the piss out of her immediately and went, "That is the best your handwriting has ever looked."
Yeah.
First thing my sister said, she's like, "I've never seen a birthday card look this good."
Imagine if I got my dad to do it, but get it. Just might as well just go freehand and just scratch all over my arm. That'd be
just like doctor's prescription handwriting.
Yes. What's the name of your song? I'm not really sure, if I'm honest with you.
Do you speak Braille?
It should have. Are you going to like mash them all up into like for the artwork sort of thing? If you don't mind me asking, of course, like, or use all 5 and mash them in, or use it for like a video, or
just that one, bro. So it's that.
Okay.
So, yeah, that one's going to be. So the photo I posted on Instagram earlier, that's the single artwork that's going to be on Spotify and Apple Music and all the streaming platforms and stuff. So yeah, it's like, I mean, I was like, you only get to release your first song once, so why not get the name of it tattooed? And then I was thinking like trying to pick a font, and all the fonts I was looking at sucked, and I was like, if it looks too serious, then it takes away from the meaning of the song, and it's not very me. And like, people are always really precious about their forearm tattoos, and it's like, I've got to have something like really cool on my forearms, and it's like, I'm not a very serious guy. So it's like, for me, like the coolest thing I could have on my forearm is like my mom's handwriting, like in massive words. So yeah, man.
I wish I could say that. I've got Star Wars and Kevin Smith.
Perfect. The nerdier, the better. That's my thing with forearm tattoos. It's like, show me a sleeve that is niche.
Yeah. But where do you plan to go with this? Like, do you have plans, or are you just going to sort of go with the flow of it?
Good question, bro. So the aim is to put out all 5 songs this year. So I've got 5 songs recorded in the studio with Tom. I'm actually meeting up with him on Monday night. I'm meeting up with Monday night. We're going into the studio on Tuesday, which means if all goes to plan and the song actually like comes out as is intended on Tuesday, it obviously drops at midnight. So me and Tom will be with each other on Monday night when the song comes out. And then, funnily enough, the day the song comes out, we're in the studio working on the next one and like getting that into a finished position. So yeah, like it's quite literally like onto the next one. Like the aim is by the end of this year to have every song that we've recorded, because they're all in a position where they basically just need that producer's touch, mix put on them, and then mastering. But yeah, the bones and the structure of the songs are there. So yeah, if by the end of this calendar year I can have a solid type 5, then let's see if in 2026 I can go out and play some shows.
Oh, I was gonna say you'll be on that Vegas stage before you know it.
I'll intro you.
Yeah, 100%. Like first name on the fucking sheet, like Jamie brackets Bruce Buffer.
Yes. I suppose when you got these songs out, though, but the temptation to be there with doing the Kerrang radio show, you'd be like, oh, look, we have a new single by a new up-and-comer.
Yeah,
So,
right. Imagine. Yeah, the one person I have sent it to from Kerrang is Alex Baker, because obviously he has been responsible for breaking so many bands over the years with his new music show. Alex's opinion is one that I'm really keen to get on it. And I'm not expecting him to play it on the radio. I just more like bro to bro would just love to know his thoughts on it.
Yeah.
With the dance part of the song, like, did you experiment with those different beats and tempos to find the perfect eclectic mix, or was it just a case of let's throw some things on top and see what happens?
Bro, you know me.
Yeah.
Throw it at the wall and see what sticks. I always knew this. So like we chose this BPM of the song is 130, and that's a dance BPM. People who don't know, so like vast majority of EDM songs sit between 128 and 130. House is a little bit slower; it's like 120. But like for your big main room EDM, like your Swedish House Mafias and like Levels by Avicii and all like Language, Paul Robinson, all of those tunes sit at like 128 to 130. So that was the BPM that I wanted, because I wanted to have that EDM dance feel to it, like 4 to the floor kick drum just going in your fucking face. And then with the Sims, it was just quite literally there's a program called Serum, which if you're a dance music producer you probably know Serum, and I was just scanning through the presets on there and I was like, cool, what sounds the most ravey? And it was just a case of no okay.
I love it. I would say I've just realised the time that has gone so damn fast.
What time?
But it's
quarter past.
Quarter past.
No, it's not.
It's gone really fast. But we can't get out of it before we talk about the fact, like, I think it's even next weekend, you go on tour with Bowling for Soup, Wheatus and Magnolia Park, which is fucking incredible.
Gorgeous.
I shall see you in Wolverhampton, sir. But how did this even come across? How did this happen?
So, again, one of my closest friends, Matt Stocks, who has been a mentor to me over the years. So when Kerrang was based in Birmingham, my first job was producing Loz on his evening show. Loz got moved to the breakfast show, and I was worried that I might basically be out of a job, even though I was working for fucking free. And I was looking, and Stocks had just been given responsibility of the 7 till 10 show. Like it's called In Demand. It was like the evening show that did like all the new music and stuff. And I was like, hey man, do you need a producer? Because like I can't let this shit go, man. And he was like, yeah, absolutely. So then I went on to producing him on that show, and that was revolutionary. Like some of the my first foray into live radio came like helping Stocks out on those shows. He'd throw to me every now and then, and I get to speak live on the radio, and like it was an absolute trip. And Stocks has always been Bowling for Soup's go-to DJ for their tours, and he just couldn't make it on this run. He's in the process of doing a master's, because he's going down the education route, which so much credit to him. He's also been sober for a massive stint of time. Like, couldn't be more prouder of him.
Fair play.
Yeah, absolutely
huge.
Like one of those for Stocks, and he basically said to Soups that I can't do it on this run, but Stocks is the one who put me forward and said I can't do it, but I know someone who can. And I got the message off Jarrett being like, hey man, like, are you up for it? And couldn't have said yes quick enough.
I suppose it helps you had that rapport with Jarrett, because you've had him on the Jon Mahon show like twice. So
yeah, for sure, man.
That's so cool. Before we do let you get out of here, what is going on with the Jon Mahon show? It's obviously been a little while since you've posted a new episode of that. So.
Yeah. So funny enough, me and Ollie were drunkenly hanging out on Friday night after Neck Deep in the Wonder Years in Birmingham, and it was a proper emotional beer chat of being like, man, I miss you. I miss doing the show. And like basically like doing it live was a trip, but it was the wrong move. So the plan is to bring it back as a pre-recorded entity and like recaps that magic that we had, because we had so many fun moments on camera together. And it's basically long and short of it. It's coming back. I imagine it'll probably be once the Soup tour's wrapped. We're gonna start trying to find some weekends, record some shit, and bring back the JMS.
Yeah,
incredible.
Lizzie, the boys are back in town, motherfuckers.
Oh, we do love Mr. Root. What a gentleman. But
Oh.
last thing from me before I throw over to my beautiful co-host there. The Royal Rumble is tomorrow night. Who you got winning the Rumble matches?
Oh, this has been the hardest Rumble to predict
Right.
for years. I can't remember the last, like, so I'm a betting guy. I do like a bet from time to time. And I was looking at the odds, and the two most favored are Punk and Cena on the bookies, which is interesting because neither of those guys need to win the Royal Rumble in order to headline WrestleMania. For Cena's story, it doesn't make sense. Like, I would much rather they do the Shawn Michaels story as to how he wanted to take on Undertaker.
Yes.
And like I want that moment where you think Cena's gonna make it to like the final four and like a proper heel chucks him over the top. That's Cena's heel program sorted for like a couple of months because then he's got a feud there. But I really would like Cena to take Flair's record. I think it's about time we moved on from Flair as like the most tenured world champion in WWE. No one deserves it more than Cena, so I really hope he gets that moment. I'd love to see him get the belt at Mania as well, but he doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble to go into that program, which then goes on to Punk. And again, Punk doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble, but it needs to be a poster star. That's my thing. And I think considering we're into the Netflix generation where there's a lot of hype around WWE, rightly so. It's the biggest wrestling product. It's the biggest wrestling has ever been, and that product is flying the flag for it. I'd go for Seth Rollins personally, because if you're a casual fan who used to watch in the Attitude Era or even later, you know CM Punk, you know John Cena, like you know those names. But Seth Rollins is a very new name. Has Seth ever won the Royal Rumble?
No.
I don't know.
So.
Yeah, so I personally, I would like to see Seth get it because I think he needs to be reinserted into that main event picture. So yeah, what about you boys? Who you got?
It's a tough one, like you say. I think those three are you most likely, but deep down, I want Sammy to win it because I want Sammy Gunther too. Like, give me that in the main event of night one. I'll be a happy bunny.
That's a fantasy booking,
Yeah,
mega shout.
That's what I want. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's what I want.
What about you, Tom?
I haven't watched WWE since July of last year, so I have no idea.
Damn, you haven't seen any of the Netflix stuff?
Nope. I watch nothing. I watch AEW still, but I don't watch WWE at all. I got really bored of it, so I just stopped.
Interesting.
Yeah, I got to Clash at the Castle and just went, can't be asked. Just can't be asked. So I stopped.
That's fair enough, bro. But I mean, like, to play devil's advocate here, like, WWE is the best it's ever been right now. Like,
of course it is. Ever since I stopped, of course it fucking is.
It is firing on all cylinders. Like, everything's on Netflix now. Like, from the new era. So if I was you, start for the first episode of Raw on Netflix. Do Raw and SmackDown, like alternate between the two, just so everything makes sense. But yeah, go Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown. I think we've got like 3 or 4 episodes of both now on Netflix. Like Penta in WWE, off to a great start as well. Like it makes me happy to be a wrestling fan again. Like, because it's such a dirty word to say. Like, there wasn't a bigger turnoff to women for such a long time than a man saying he likes pro wrestling. And it's like, you know that clip of that Geordie girl where it's like, what's your biggest thing? It's like, people are like wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
People like wrestling? Yeah.
But that with the Christian Cajun when Adam Copeland debuted, like, go fuck yourself was that's the best thing in the world. Oh, John, before I let you go, I have 2 questions left. What are you hoping people take away from the brand new single?
Good question, bro. Fundamentally with this song, the message of this song is don't let the motherfuckers bring you down. And it's whether that's other people's opinions or whether sometimes you're the motherfucker who's bringing you down. Because I've been the motherfucker bringing me down for a very, very long time, on more occasions than I'm proud of. And sometimes you have to, stand up to yourself and be like, shut the fuck up. Who do you think you're talking to? And yeah, the fundamental side of that song is like, just embrace being you, whoever you is, just embrace that side. Be silly, be stupid, have fun. Like, don't take life too seriously, because in the end, none of us make it out alive. Which is, I think it's like that. I think that's a Robin Williams quote. I've got a mashup that I play from time to time of actually, in fact, I've redone the mashup. So it's Afterglow by Wilkinson with Jimmy Eat World's The Middle over the top of it. And like there's this Robin Williams quote, which is like him basically giving like this big, I can't even remember what film it's from, this big motivational speech. And like right at the end is like, because in the end, none of us have very long. Life is fleeting. And it's true. Like none of us have very long. Life is fleeting. Just don't worry. Just don't worry. Just like find the shit that makes you happy and makes you feel like you, and just focus on that.
Oh, love that. Beautiful. It is gorgeous. And I am going to end on this, and I am pretty livid about it. The Super Bowl. I couldn't give a fuck this year. Who have you got?
Fair. Chiefs. Chiefs,
yeah,
man. It was
boring.
It was always the Chiefs. It was always the Chiefs. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs, and that three-peat has been coming since the season fucking started. And like, it hasn't been the prettiest season for the Chiefs. Some of those games have been tedious. I've sat through every single primetime game this season. I think the only entertaining primetime game that the Chiefs really had was the one against the Bills, where the Bills beat him, and Josh Allen.
Yeah, what a game.
Yeah, I think he went for 2 tuds. But I mean, I've got a lot of friends who are into NFL who are saying they don't give a shit about this year's Super Bowl, and I'm too much of a fanboy of the NFL to not care. And for me, there's a story in the because I wasn't watching the NFL when the Patriots dynasty was a thing. So I wasn't used to the whole one team dominating thing. Whereas like this has been my first kind of like taste of that. My first year watching the NFL was the Rams-Bengals Super Bowl. So
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, that's how late I got into it, bro. So
damn.
Yeah.
That's like 4 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That was my first Super Bowl. So yeah, and then actually no, it was Bucks Chiefs before then? Or after them?
That was Brady Bucks.
Yeah.
Was that before? I think that was before. Then they didn't get back the year after.
Yeah. So So that was my first year, Brady Bucks. Yeah. But like I say, first year, like I only really got into it towards the tail end of the season. So my first proper season following the NFL was Rams and Bengals. But yeah, like I'm stoked that the Eagles got there. Don't get me wrong, I'd have preferred the Lions. Lions did fall apart. In
that game with the Commanders was unreal.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it.
It was brutal to watch. Like from someone who wanted to see the Lions win that so badly, it was a brutal watch. But like they've announced the Super Bowl logo for next year, and it's all blue, baby. And if you're into those logo conspiracy theories, that screams Bills Lions.
Yeah.
And give me that, man. Yeah, give me Jared Goff versus Josh Allen.
Oh, it'd be gorgeous.
As in regards to this year's Super Bowl, my main prediction is Saquon's going to break the Super Bowl rushing record, whatever that is. He's going to break it. Chiefs are going to three-peat, and Travis Kelce is going to propose to Taylor Swift after the game and retire. Yeah. I think this is Travis's last season, hands down. He's missed not having his brother in the league. They just want to be podcasters. He's married to a billionaire, or he would be married to a billionaire. Yeah. Like she could write the rest of the albums for the rest of her life based off being proposed to at the fucking Super Bowl. So yeah, those are my 3 predictions. 3-peat from the Chiefs. Saquon break the rushing record. Kelce retires and proposes to Taylor Swift after the game. I wonder what the parlay.
That's what I was about to say.
Oh, and Kendrick is going to open up his set with Not Like Us, and like just get straight off the bat called Drake a paedophile. Yeah.
That's phenomenal. Not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
That's so good.
Oh, Mr. Mahon, you beautiful man. We're going to let you go because you've got another interview to get to. But quickly before you do, plug social medias. Where can people find you in the world?
Fuck me, first and foremost. Please follow these boys. I cannot express how much I love these boys. The Chronicles of is a podcast that will brighten your darkest of days. So subscribe, follow them, like, engage, talk to them as well. Drop comments. They're 2 of the funniest motherfuckers in the content creation game in the UK. So please show this pod a lot of love, because honestly, it deserves to be one of the biggest that we have representing the scene. So please, for the love of God, support the Chronicles of. That's the important plug. The other plug is my song comes out on the 4th of February. And if you got time to listen to it, I'll be very grateful. And even if you hate it, come tell me that you hate it. I'm a big boy. I can handle constructive criticism. As long as it's constructive, though. Like, if you're just going to go, oh, it's shit, it's not constructive criticism. Like, if you're going to criticize, like, in the words of Backstreet Boys, tell me why.
Please give John's song all the love. Go listen to it. February 4th. It's out at midnight. Go and give it everything. He deserves the world as well, because this man is a fucking wonderful human. And the JMS is coming back soon as well.
Yeah, it is, baby. Don't call it a comeback.
Oh, John, thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate it.
I love you, man. It's been bro-motional. Until the next one.
Your pronouns. I'm partial to Big Dog.
If we get locked into that, we'll be here for another 20 minutes.
John, thank you so much, my friend. All the best for the single. Seriously, I can't wait to see the Instagram comments I saw earlier. People were fucking so excited, so I can't wait to see what they say.
Yeah,
and
imagine they hear it and they're like, "Fuck, this is shit."
It won't happen. It won't happen
Not gonna
at all.